Sponsored by
दांतों और मसौढ़ों की समस्याओं का पूर्ण समाधान।
The news of the two largest economy in the world, the UK and Japan, slipping into recession during the September to December quarter of 2023 made headlines last week. While this was unexpected for Japan, it was a particularly unpleasant development for the UK, with national elections likely to be held in 2024. However, it is only the tip of the iceberg, as fear looms that several countries around the world might also slip into the recession soon. So, what is technical recession? Technically, a recession is defined as the two consecutive quarters of year-on-year contraction in a country's gross domestic products. As such, both Japan and UK has seen their GDP shrink on a year-on-year basis in July to September 2023 and October to December 2023. The GDP of the Germany, meanwhile, also contracted by 0.3% in the last quarter of 2023 and is expected to shrink in the first quarter of 2024. Should Bharat be worried? Using the definition of recession, Bharat too was in a recession in the first half of 2020 to 2021, when the GDP contracted by 23.4% in April to June 2020 and by 5.7% in July to September 2020, as the economy ground to halt due to the nationwide lockdown enforced to stop the spread of the coronavirus. However, Bharat is now ranked 5th in the world's GDP rankings in 2024, valued over 4,000 billion as its economy boosts diversity and swift growth. As of now, the key industries behind the flourishing Bharatiya economy are information, technology, services, agriculture and manufacturing. Nevertheless, the recession is not a concern for Bharat at all due to its higher than expected growth rates and being one of the fastest growing large economies in the world. Yet, if there were global economic slowdown, no nation would remain untouched in the age of globalization where one economy can impact the another. And it remains an essential fact that while the entire world faced inflation after the COVID-19 pandemic, Bharat was the only country that reported economic growth. However, Bharat is not insulated from the rest of the world, and a slowdown in the growth abroad might impact domestic economic activity throughout the trade channels. And Bharatiya government recognizes this fact. So, the Finance Ministry's monthly economic review report for January, released on February 20th, said it is urgent and important to make Bharat's export more competitive and attractive in the face of persisting global uncertainties, referring to the disruptions caused by the ongoing Red Sea crisis. According to the Reserve Bank of India, about 48.7% of Bharat's merchandise exports and 30.4% of imports are exposed to the Red Sea route. Meanwhile, besides Japan and the UK, Ireland and Finland both experienced economic downturns in the fourth quarter, entering into technical recessions. While the Ireland registered a quarter-on-quarter GDP contractions of 0.7% and 1.9% in the third quarter and fourth quarter respectively. On the other hand, Finland experienced a 0.4% contraction followed by 0.9% decline in its GDP during the same quarters. Though fourth quarter GDP figures for several nations are still pending release, it cannot be certain that only 4 nations will be experiencing a recession. This is because during the July to September quarter, the GDP, as per reports, has declined in at least 14 countries. Amid this, risks for 10 countries to slip into recession looms, out of which 4 nations, Luxembourg, Moldova and Estonia, were already in recession by the third quarter. The latest fourth quarter GDP reports from various nations, Malaysia, Thailand, Romania, Lithuania, Germany and Colombia, all experienced GDP contraction for the first time during the December quarter. Germany, which is one of the biggest economies in Europe, not only showed a contraction of 0.3% but also threatened to bring down the growth of the entire region as a whole. It is essential to mention here that the Europe zone has a lack of growth in the fourth quarter as it stayed at 0%.